One, two, three, one. Welcome everybody to Mom and Dad Talks. Our favorite two people are Mom and Dad, and we have Hantie. Hello, Hantie. All right,
Hello.
good everybody. The Olympics are ending here, and the Bible talks about the Olympics, and Paul refers to it when he talks about run this race. So, when you look at the goodwill it's supposed to give to people around the world, there was some great things and there were some not so great things, but it's a reminder of, what I'm saying, to run your race. And I think that a lot of good things happen, a lot of good will have, a lot of healing happen, especially in this election year where everybody's hating each other here for some reason. It's nice to see something positive, and I think overall it was very, very positive. I think a lot of the people represent the USA or their countries very, very well. I was really proud of what the ladies did. I mean, this is the first time, sisters, representing this country in gymnastics and really did well and brought home a lot of the gold and stuff, a lot of medals. And then track and field had a comeback, and I was reading an article. We're going to talk about this Olympics this year, but I was reading an article about Jesse Owens. When Jesse Owens won in Germany in 1936, he won the gold, and I believe another gentleman won the silver. And you can see him doing the Nazi salute, and you can see Jesse Owens giving the American salute to the flag. But afterward, you see this man from Nazi Germany grab Jesse Owens and congratulate and walk around in front of Adolf Hitler and everybody in a very hostile environment. You didn't see that back then, especially among black people. And the story goes is that this gentleman had to fight with Nazi Germany and fought in Africa and then died in Italy. But before he died, he wrote a letter to Jesse Owens saying that if I should die, I feel like I'm going to die. Go see my son and tell him our experience of what the world could have been. 1951, Jesse Owens went and honored his request because his father had died to talk about his father. You see the goodwill
that gives me chills.
Yeah, you see the goodwill that can come from sporting events if we just love one another better.
Right.
And I look at Simone Biles and Jordan, I think that's the lady's name. I can't remember, Jordan Childs. And they lost to Brazil. Now, let me tell you, that lady from Brazil, she was coming on strong and she wanted to win. And she finally got the gold and beat up two excellent people. And as a jest and fun, they went and bowed down to her like, hey, you beat us. And some people criticize them for that. It's a sport, folk.
Oh.
And sometimes you got to respect people.
Right.
And then you think about the Cuban, who 5 times in a row won the same sport in Olympics and wrestling. Never been done before. The man retired at the age of 41. And as his last match, took off his shoes and put them on the floor as representative he retired.
Oh.
I wish people would just do good things like that, and it could bring out the best in people. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Personally, I found that the Olympics were more human than they used to be. It was always national pride, but just reaching across to foreign countries to let them know that, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all brothers. And the thing that really impressed me was that this is the first time that breakdancing was a sport in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And breakdancing originated in the United States. And what was so different was the winner, the gold winner, wasn't even an American citizen.
China
won. China won. And Snoop Dogg was one of the judges. So it goes to show you that this, how do you say, hatred of nations doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to exist.
You just have to put forth effort.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hantie, you were going to say something?
Um, there's a choice that has, everybody has that choice going into something like the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
May win, may not win,
Mm-hmm.
may get us a gold, may get a silver, whatever. But I think your original thought was, the two. I was going to call them acrobats, but I the two of them,
yeah,
the two of them choosing
mm-hmm.
to bow
Mm-hmm.
and to give respect
Mm-hmm.
and to make it recognize. I'm not mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
And I think that is very noble, very, they had a choice. They could have stood back with their hands folded or whatever. But recognizing the winner recognizing a winner is a big, big tribute.
Mm-hmm.
And we all need to practice that.
Mm-hmm.
Not in just the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. The thing that's lost a lot of times is good sportsmanship. Yes, you practice hard. No one wants to lose, but iron sharpens iron. And too many times we demonize the iron that's sharpening us, that's pushing us to be great. And unfortunately, in jobs, in our homes, even at churches, you have people wanting to defeat other people and destroy them instead of being encouraged by them helping you to push. A lot of times when people want to push you, some people don't want to be pushed, but something's got to motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a proper motivation is thank you for motivating me and pushing me to be great. I know that, my parents, worked me hard, and, I'm not going into the Olympics. I'm not doing this stuff, but the practice of just pushing hard and, even this being here in the United States. I mean, here I live in Virginia in Chesapeake, and we have this is the craziest thing. The 16-year-old is from Chesapeake. The guy who won the hurdles is from this area. And the same person that they were coached by was the dad, Mr. Holloway. And it's interesting seeing that, the importance, especially now we talk about this, having fathers in the home is so important for your success of your child.
Right.
The world is so screwed up. We are family based and biblically based, and we believe a father and a mother and a husband and wife. That's just what the Bible says and what we believe. If you're offended by it, I do apologize for it, but that's just what the Bible states and believes. And God did it for a reason. And that is so that he can push you to greatness. And it's so important to have a father know. And seeing that father going up there, not only having his son, but encouraging another man, that 16-year-old, to do the same thing. That just blew my mind. And, unfortunately now we're seeing less and less homes with families together. And I just want to encourage them. Your kids depend on it. What else? What else did you think about the Olympics? Anybody else notice anything? They don't all speak at once.
Well, I found out I found out what Snoop Dogg was doing there. and I looked at what they paid him per day.
Oh yeah, $500,000.
Yes.
Yeah, but
that's what. Okay, so he was just a judge. He wasn't. What was?
No, he was an ambassador. But see, this is the thing. While the United States demonizes our culture, the world has embraced our culture. And this is what Dad was alluding to. Here you are, by the way, if you don't know about the Olympics can pick a sport that everybody's got to do because of that nationality, that country. What's ironic is hip hop was started here in the United States in the Black culture. Okay. I grew up in that era when hip hop was demonized, when you couldn't play, that's their ghetto music or gangster music, whatever you want to call it. But the rest of the world, if you look around, you look at even Yora, Nora, and all these people, all the people around the world from every nationality is dancing to this culture. And Snoop Dogg is just a fragment of what's happening where everybody says, wow. I mean, I remember, and Gabby Douglas, not Gabby Douglas, excuse me, Simone Biles and them, when they won the gold for the group, they were all waving at Snoop and all that other stuff and dancing and stuff. And the whole world can say, hey, we can appreciate one another. And it's nice to know that somebody does like our culture, even though sometimes people in the United States hate what we do. Just because we exist. And so that's the real question is, why do you demonize us when, first of all, I always tell people we were brought in chains. We never volunteered to come here. We never said, you know what, I hate Africa.
Right.
We were forced to come here, forced to be labored, forced to breed. I mean, when you think the atrocities that happened to our ancestors, it's really amazing how we still love this country, even though this country has not always loved us the same way.
It's not our home.
You guys experienced it growing up, being called the N-word and not tolerate, can't eat here, right? I grew up in there when it was just leaving, and you could actually have repercussions from it. And what bothers me more is that you have people in the United States that want to take us backwards to hating one another again, and that part of it, like I said, they don't understand history. So they want to eliminate Black history to say it's the truth, Ty. Yes, you were brought here in chains, but now you want to kill me because you brought me here?
Oh my.
I don't know. Did they look at it that way?
They don't look at they look like we were the reason why bad things happen, but you brought us here.
Yeah, but they escalated some things that were not true.
Well, and right.
To give credence to what they felt.
Right. Because at the end of the day, they want to justify wrong. That's why slavery no longer exists. Right. But you have people out there that still think slavery is good for you. Slavery is a bad idea, folks. Always has been. And nobody likes to be owned by somebody. You always have someone saying, oh, it was better for that. I mean, that's life. You always find an outlier, right? But overall, it's not good for people. That's why
there's so many people that look on us as a violent people.
And
the thing is, we are not a violent people. But there are people in our race
that are violent,
that have been made to be violent.
Right.
Forced.
But they don't represent every
correct.
They have been forced to be violent.
You have mean things happen to you. You're going to be a mean person, right? It's unfortunate. You have mean people in all kinds of races, but however, we've been stigmatized and thrown on this, and so it's crazy that the rest of the world is like, hey, hip hop is cool, Snoop Dogg is cool, and then in our own country, we see ourselves getting bashed, and that poor lady got shot in the eye and killed.
Yes,
just for saying in Jesus' name. But back to the original thing about the Olympics. I think the Olympics this year was really good. It made me actually for the first time feel real good about my brothers and sisters across the world, that we can get along, that we can have fun. We don't have to hate one another. And it's just a microcosm of what we're going to get to heaven. Just a microcosm. We know this world, and we're going to have people who always hate and want to keep devices and stuff because that's what gives them their power. But there's going to be one day when this will all be done, and we all have to run our own race. Back to the original thing. Run your race. I have fought the good fight. I've run your race. And folks, today, just give your best every day to do the right things. If we have more people do that, the wrong people don't stand a chance.
That's right. That is so true.
Any last thoughts before we close off of Mom and Dad Talks today? Well, like I said,
competition is good if you do it fair and square.
Yes.
There you go.
And don't judge us by our dreads or by our looks or by the clothes that we wear. Judge us as being a human being.
Mm-hmm.
As being a human being. That's, I don't know. I see a lot of people that when they look at a person and they see the dreadlocks and they see the pants hanging down, they automatically classify them as vicious people.
Yeah.
And they're not. We're not. We're not a vicious people.
That's
True. We have been made, some of us have been made
right.
vicious.
And I know I'm going to get the calls and people like saying, hey, Ty, whatever, but that's okay. You know, there's another perspective too, folks. You know, not all cops want to kill black people. You got some very good cops out there too. You see what I'm saying? But yet for black folk, I can't reverse it. Because you got some well, forget the dangerous people. Let's talk about the good black people. Let's just stay on that. You know, if we focused more on that than the other stuff, you know, you might have a different perspective. So, you know, like I said, I really enjoy these Olympics. I haven't watched the Olympics in a long time, but it was really fun to watch. Watching people just compete to compete.
Right.
Not compete to hate.
And be friends with each other.
Right.
Yeah. And enjoy each other's ability, you know. Even when Serbia played USA, it was a close game, but they're like, man, this was a great game. You pushed us to be better. And that's what we want. So I guess, and folk, all I'm going to say is this: run your race. Don't worry about who's on the left or right of you. You just be the best person you could be. And try to get better every day. Don't be the same person you were yesterday. That's the only way you're going to get better. Till next time, we'll see you on Mom and Dad Talks.